YouTube fam, welcome to Athena Virtues channel and another episode with me, Athena. I'm very excited to be here today, and before I start talking about the subject of this episode, I would like to welcome all my new subscribers, and I just want to tell you thank you so much. I'm very grateful to have you all part of my spiritual journey. So today's episode is going to be about the full moon in Scorpio. I'm recording today's video on Sunday the 26th, and I'm gonna try the best that I can to upload the video before the full moon so you can get a chance to see it. But before I talk about the full moon, I just want to let you know that, and I'm pretty sure you've heard that from other astrologers, this full moon is not an easy one, okay? It has the Pluto energy. It's technically the lunar version of Pluto energy, let's put it this way. We all know that Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which is sitting right now in the 11th house in the zodiacal wheel in Aquarius, another fixed sign. And the traditional ruler of Scorpio, I was gonna say Pluto, the traditional ruler of Scorpio is Mars, which is right now sitting in Aries, okay, in domicile and sign that it rules. And Aries is the house number 1 of the in the zodiacal wheel. Quite frankly, there's a lot to unpack. I'm not going to be on camera the entire time. In a bit, I'm going to switch to my screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, before I start, I just want to explain to you, and this is very important to understand. This full moon in Scorpio will affect mostly Scorpio and Aries, number 1. And I've always, since I started this channel, I've been telling you that the planets that they are the main players in whatever aspect, they will affect mostly the signs that they rule. So in this example, because Scorpio is ruled by Mars traditionally, so it's going to affect Scorpio and Aries because Aries is ruled by Mars as well, right? And also, it's going to affect Aquarius, the second, after Scorpio and Aries, because Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio, is sitting for the next 20 years in Aquarius. The second reason is Aquarius is a fixed sign. So the signs that's going to be affected after Scorpio and Aries, technically fixed signs, which is Aquarius, because it's Aquarius Scorpio, okay, it's an angular house of Scorpio. Leo, same thing, it's another fixed sign. And Taurus, the most. Why? Because it's in opposition to this full moon. So the sun right now, as you see in the chart, it's sitting in Taurus at 11 degrees, all right? And the moon is sitting in Scorpio at 11 degrees and 20 minutes. So what's happening here, as we all know, or maybe you don't know, that's why that's my job here to explain to you, is the moon is in detriment in Scorpio because the moon exalted in Taurus, okay? So the moon now is sitting in the opposite sign, sitting in a Scorpio. The moon is not, is technically embodying Pluto energy. Besides, the moon is very, rules our emotions, feelings, our ups and downs, our moods, right? But it's also in detriment because it's sitting in the sign that's the opposite of the sign that it rules. All right? So, so these signs, and you probably notice, lots of people who are YouTubers or astrologers, they would disappear around the full moon because of the intensity of this full moon. All right? Yes, it's very intense, guys. And let me tell you, and as I've explained before, a million times, the energy of any aspect, it doesn't happen when it reaches the exact degree. No, The energy is intense when it's applied. What does that mean? It means that when the planet or the moon or the sun, for that matter, whatever it is, it's headed towards the aspected degree or the exact degree, the time it spends headed towards that degree, that's when the energy is getting very intense. That's when the energy is building up. That's when we hear, especially in particular for this example, for this full moon in Scorpio, we hear about murders, crimes, suicide, fights, anger, rigidity, you name it, all right? And yes, everything I mentioned right now is the energy of Pluto, all right? Power struggle, fights, I don't know if I didn't mention fight. What's make it even worse is that this full moon activates the energy of other planets, like Uranus, which is just entered into Gemini, and also activates Saturn. And because Saturn is in Aries, where Mars is, all right? So the energy is very potent. All these planets that sitting right now in Aries, Neptune, Saturn, Mercury, and Chiron are being reactivated by this full moon, all right? But not only that, just to show you how intense and powerful is this full moon in Scorpio, all right? Even Venus, that just entered into Gemini, and on May the 1st, Venus is going to be at 9 degrees, as you see in the chart. I haven't switched to my screen yet. I am going to be switching in a second. Venus rules Taurus, where the sun is opposing the full moon, right? That's what the full moon is the sun and the moon are in opposite signs. Venus, which rules, or the sun under the rulership of Venus, because Venus rules Taurus and rules Libra, right? Is being reactivated as well. And let me tell you guys, even though Venus is forming a trine with Pluto, I can assure you guys, and I'm 100% sure, lots of you, especially if you're a fixed sign, other than Scorpio, and if you're not, other than Aries and Scorpio, you must have felt the energy of Venus dealing with a very authoritative feminine energy, a feminine energy which is very controlling, very dominant, like it's kind of a very challenging energy, all right? So don't take that slightly, okay? Especially if it's related to financial matters. Yeah, there's lots of power struggle around this time related to finances or in the financial sector, all right? And this energy is not going to be easy until it's going to be eased up when we will have a new moon in Taurus on the 16th, I believe, or the 17th. Just give me 1 second, let me double check. On the 16th of May, all right? So yeah, this energy of the full moon in Scorpio is not an easy energy. It's actually very, very deep, very intense, very transformative, very powerful, revealing as well, and it's just impossible to ignore, okay? It feels like there is something going on spiritually, all right? It's kind of a spiritual metamorphosis, all right? And we are going through the process of the metamorphosis cycle. And most likely, I'm gonna name this video, title it, The Metamorphosis Cycle, all right? Or the spiritual metamorphosis. So, and as we all know, technically the full moon is a culmination. It's an ending. It's the truth surfacing. And moreover, and I've mentioned that a million times, it's a reversal of a situation. And when I say reversal, I mean literally. So whatever situation you're going through right now, and because it's it's associated with it's a lunar version, as I said, of Pluto energy, and it's very transformative, very revealing. It's also it's going to change, reverse the situation you're going through right now, whatever it is. I don't care where the full moon in Scorpio falls, whether it's in your, first house, second house, 10th house, what 8th house, like for Aries, for example. It's still a reversal of a situation, ending, culmination, reversal, and the truth resurfacing. And if I haven't mentioned, guys, I've already mentioned that the signs that's going to be affected the most by this full moon in Scorpio. As I said, Aries, Scorpio, Aries, the fixed signs starting off Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. Yeah, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. Yeah, and the signs that it's going to be easy on them, they are obviously the water signs of Cancer and Pisces, because this full moon is trining these signs. And even if you've heard somebody saying the moon, whenever there's full moon or a new moon, affect Cancer because the moon rules Cancer, that is incorrect. It's correct only if your moon is in Cancer. But if you are Sun and Rising, it's not going to affect you as much as if you have if your moon is actually in Cancer. Now, Taurus is going to have a double whammy. Why? Because it's not only a fixed sign. It's not only because it's opposite of Scorpio, but it's also because the moon exalted in Taurus. So if you are Aries, Taurus, then I'm so sorry. Something is going to be not very pleasant happening around this time. Okay, you know your situation more than anybody. I'm not trying here to give you bad news. I'm just trying to be honest and tell you what's going on as it is. All right. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this feels like a spiritual metamorphosis, where it feels like during this process, something is being dissolving, something around your identity, around who you thought you are, because that's what Pluto does. Pluto triggers a situation in your life to make you face the fear, because the fear is illusion. The fear doesn't exist. The fear is from Satan. The fear is really the energy of Saturn. When there is an obstacle and blockage in front of you, limitation, restriction, somebody tells you no when you're trying to move on and do something, that's when you start having that energy of fear. It's coming from you're doubting, you have your faith is not strong. Okay, that's why I said fear is from Satan. Fear is literally an archon energy. All right, it's if you are a person of higher frequency, you should be able to overcome that fear. All right, so what happens around this time, because once again it's a Plutonian energy, these spiritual metamorphosis is the process of dissolving who you thought you are in order for you to become who you actually meant to be on this planet Earth, right? In order for you to grow. And remember, when something ends in our life or something transforms, what transformation? It's death and rebirth, right? So it's like you're being resurrected. You're facing your fear, technically defeat that energy, you defeat your shadow self, and you become who you're supposed to be on this planet Earth. And this is how you grow. This is how you evolve, all right, as a spiritual being. Let me switch to my screen so I can dive further into this energy. And I don't know, guys, if I mentioned it or not, and I'm sorry, there's just so much going on in my mind, okay, and there's so much downloads. By the way, I'm gonna do tarot reading. I've done one before, I'm gonna do another one, but before that, if I haven't mentioned, the signs of Cancer and Pisces, they're gonna feel it's going to be easy on them this full moon. And let me tell you guys, I'm a Cancer Sun and Rising, and I have seen few things, like even on the road, stupid things. Actually, it's annoying, all right. And there are also some few stuff related to financial matters. It's not something major, all right? But I want you to know, just give it time around this time, all right? Because the energy is very potent, it's very strong. Past May the 1st, you can try again, whatever you're trying to pursue, okay? Let's say if there's an obstacle related to even like banking fees that you feel it's unfair, you've been charged banking fees where you shouldn't have been. Don't do it now. Don't try to argue it. Don't try to fight it. Let the energy dissipate after May the 1st, and then you can go ahead and fight it, all right? Anything related to financial matters, because remember, Pluto is all about hidden wealth, all right? It's about power. It's about authority. It's about, control, all right? And Venus is a feminine energy. So as I said, the energy is there, okay? Just take it easy, all right? Try not to do anything right now until after May the 1st, all right? Remember, there's something new is brewing, and you're gonna feel it when we're approaching the new moon in Taurus on the 16th, because, when there's a new moon, the moon's going to be in the its exaltation sign in Taurus, so the energy was going to be a lot better, all right? Anyways, guys, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want you to understand there's a total restructuring right now, restructuring of identity, purpose, and way of being. And as I said, it's often triggered by the energy of Pluto, the energy of breakdown, or the energy of loss, all right? Because that's the energy of Pluto. So as I said, take it easy around this time. Let the energy, dissipate and lessen by the time the moon separates from the opposition with the sun, okay, and move forward, enter into Sagittarius, and then you will feel that everything is changing, all right? It's a process, and we have to experience it. As I said, it's a spiritual metamorphosis, all right? Stay tuned for the tarot reading. So as I mentioned, guys, in the previous, in the introduction, this full moon is going to be at 11 degrees and 20 minutes. It's in the sign of Scorpio, and it's going to be in opposition to the sun and the other fixed sign, or the opposite fixed sign, which is Taurus. So the energy is going to be very potent for these two signs besides Aries. Why is that? Because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. Now also Aquarius is another fellow fixed sign where Pluto is sitting, and Pluto is as you all know, is the modern ruler of Scorpio. Now Leo is going to be affected by this energy as well, because Leo is another fellow fixed sign and is forming an angle with Scorpio. I've also mentioned that, and I don't know if I've mentioned that or not, but Gemini is going to be affected as well. Why is that? Because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and all these planets that you see sitting here, the stellium of planets that are sitting here in Aries under the rulership of Mars, are going to be affected. So Gemini in particular, because also Venus is the ruler of Taurus, all right? And Venus is sitting in Gemini, and also Uranus just entered into Gemini, and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So obviously Gemini is going to be affected by this energy as well. There's something going to be very shocking, and there's a power struggle and fights and arguments. All right, even though Venus is forming a trine with Pluto, it doesn't matter. It's literally there's going to be a power struggle, a fight happening here, something very shocking happening here for Gemini. All right, and if you haven't heard of the assassination attempt that happened to President Trump, This is just a very simple example, because the Plutonian energy is all about, assassination, criminal activities, murder, trafficking in all kind of like drugs, women, sex, kids, you name it. All right. Anything that's hidden, anything that's taboo, anything that's unacceptable, that's the energy of Pluto. Now, what's the energy of Pluto as well? The energy of Pluto is, it's kind of, it breaks down the old stuff, things that you thought originally that's who you are, but that's not the right thing. So that's going to break down, that's going to be dissolved, all right? So that something else is going to be born, okay? Pluto, as we all know, rules ego death, all right? Other than actual literal death, it rules ego death. It rules shadow self and shadow work, trauma alchemy, the stripping away of illusion. Pluto also, and lots of you, I'm pretty sure, especially if you are Scorpio, Aries, Taurus, Aquarius or Leo, you are going through the dark night of the soul. There's something very deep is going on in your lives right now, especially the signs I mentioned, besides Gemini as well. These signs, they're struggling right now. I don't care how people appear, because the truth, it is what it is, all right? And these Pluto phases, it feels like you're talking to yourself or in the mirror, or you're talking to your shadow self, because that's what shadow work, right? And you're saying, I don't recognize myself anymore. Everything is falling apart in my life. Nothing is working. I feel I want to die. I am tired and sick and tired of this life. I am being forced to confront what I've been avoiding all my life. I don't like it. That's not me. That's someone else. This is the melting stage of the spiritual metamorphosis, or of the metamorphosis cycle. The energy of death, all right? It's the energy of death, literally. And remember, death is a part of a rebirth, all right? Death, you can't separate death from rebirth, okay? It's part of the rebirth. It feels like, right now, it feels like you're doing, or you're, as I mentioned, facing your shadow self. It feels like you're bringing up what was buried for many, many years. Because remember, Pluto is a karmic generational planet. Okay, it takes 248 years for Pluto to come back to the same sign. All right, and remember also, Pluto is going to be sitting here in Aquarius for the next 20 years until 2044. All right, so that's why this energy, even the transformation, is not going to happen between day and night. Okay, it's not going to happen in blink of the eye. And the pain as well, and the karma, it's not going to be paid in a day or night. It's a very lengthy process. It's going to be painful. It's going to take long, and you have to learn to be patient during the process. Okay, so this energy brings back what was buried for many, many years. Your subconscious, the hidden self, all right? The hidden part of you, that the part that you don't know, or not you don't know, you know about it, but you're ashamed of mentioning it, it's gonna ruin your public image, so you can't show it to others. It's something, and let me tell you, Pluto's karma is very painful, more than Saturn, because it's very deep, it's very intense, it's very powerful. Okay, so and Pluto, the problem is with Pluto karma, you are going to be exposed. Okay, everything is going to come to the surface, everything is going to be revealed, and once again, it makes you feel like I'm ashamed. I want to hide. I don't want to show myself, because there's something you've done that you don't want to show it. You've been hiding it. It's taboo. It's something shameful. All right. You don't want it to be brought up into the light, but that's the energy now you all feel, and that's what's going to happen with this full moon. Okay, you have to face it. All right, you have to face that fear. You have to face that shame. Okay, you have to face that obsession. You have
to face also the desires that you feel like, okay, I can't do that. It's just very shameful. All right, you have to face all of this, and it's, you know, it's going to be, whether you like it or not, it's going to be coming to the surface. All right. Pluto also represents repressed emotions. What does that mean? Once again, it's those taboo things, or those, you know, things like we're talking about jealousy, anger, you know, resentment, hate, enviousness, these kind of feelings. All right, these are all going to be going to be very, very noticeable around this time, and you are going to be faced with these feelings. All right, you're going to feel it. Technically, something is going to be triggered in your life, and you're going to feel all this stuff all at once. All right, now also Pluto is all about power and control. So around this time, we will see power struggle dynamics. As I mentioned, even though Venus, sorry for this red trine, even though Venus trines Pluto, but there's the energy of somebody, of feminine energy, all right, is being very manipulative, is maybe you've also experienced gaslighting or being gaslit by a feminine energy. Not necessarily, but for some of you, yes, that's the energy of the trine here between Venus and Pluto. All right, and there's also the energy of revenge. These are all the taboo energies that you're going to feel around this time. This full moon in Scorpio is a trigger. All right, as I said, it's a lunar version of Pluto. So this full moon acts as a trigger. It triggers emotional purging. All right, endings, revelation, deep honesty, reversal of a situation. It feels like the universe is saying to you, you are not who you were. You are not yet who you are becoming, but the transformation is real. Remember that. Okay, now the other thing is this full moon, as you see at 11th degree, okay, is creating a yod, or the finger of God, these green lines. Okay, the full moon here is on the tip of the yod, and on the other sides of the yod, which these two planets sextile with one another, we have Saturn in Aries and Venus in Gemini. Okay, so it feels like there's a sense of destiny. This is your destiny. Look, guys, anything related to the moon, full moon, new moon, eclipses, whether solar or lunar, and the nodes, the lunar nodes, right? Anything related to this is karmic. All right, it's fated, it's destiny. All right, the north node, it's your life path on this planet Earth, and the south node is your karmic or your past life, which you have to let go of. All right, and this full moon is triggering this south node. Is literally, it's saying this is your destiny, and you will feel that you're kind of encouraged to pay attention to a specific area of your life where there was somebody or a situation or a habit or anything that was holding you back. All right, and this thing doesn't really exist. It's illusion. Okay, it's something you need to get rid of in order for you to grow and evolve and move on in your life. All right, so whatever is happening around this time, you need to understand it's going to be with this finger of God, with this yod. It's destined, it's fated. All right, it's beyond your control. You need to release old identities and or embody new one. Why I'm saying that? Because this full moon in Scorpio has two frequencies, a higher frequency part of it, or a higher vibrational of it, and a lower vibrational of it. All right, so the lower vibe, because it's, once again, it carries with it the Pluto energy. It's Pluto here is a double-edged sword. What does that mean? It means if it has the energy of destruction and transformation, or power and loss. It has also the energy of abundance and gloom, the dark night of the soul, and the wealth, the ways to get or to become wealthy. It's fearful and obsessive energy as well. That's why I'm saying it's the double-edged sword, or the energy of this full moon, or which once again it has the energy of Pluto. All right, so if you are of a lower vibrational frequency, or the unconscious Pluto, or you have the unconscious Pluto energy, then it feels like there is destruction happening in your life. There is manipulation, fear, and as I said, the energy of obsession. All right. Now, if on the flip side, if you are of a conscious Pluto, or you are a higher vibrational person, then it feels like a laser-focused growth. There is a profound psychological insight and resilience is happening within you. All right. And regardless of whether you are a person who carries with you a conscious Pluto or the unconscious Pluto, or whether you are lower or higher vibrational, remember that change can be total, messy, but still leads to something amazing, something astonishing. All right, so that's what I have for you for the Pluto or the full moon in Scorpio. There is literally a lot to unpack, but I don't want to take too much in the astro aspect of the energy. I've explained what I've explained. Be watchful around this time of scammers, of activities such as murder, any criminal activity, anything taboo. Be watchful, be careful. It is a very dangerous energy. All right, even on the road, be careful, because all these planets in Aries besides Uranus, they are all activated. All right, so I'll see you in the next segment of this video, which is
Hello YouTube fam. So in this part of the video, I will be doing tarot and oracle reading. It's a spiritual messages that you are meant to find and you are meant to hear at this point in time. So, and before I start channeling these spiritual messages for you, I would like to start with this brief prayers. Dear Heavenly Father, heal my heart where it has been hurt. Restore my confidence where it has been shaken. Replace my fear with faith and my exhaustion with strength. Lord, guide my steps and order my path. Surround me with loving and caring people who honor me and bring out the best in me. And if a blessing is on its way, let me receive it with gratitude and without guilt. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, as I'm shuffling the cards, I want you to be prepared for whatever message is coming up and listen carefully. And as you listen, breathe slowly and notice what your spirit responds to. Now, the right message will feel like a yes. All right? Now, once again, you have to trust what your body already knows and stop giving access to people who don't show consistent care for you. Okay, so I've laid down the cards. Now let's get into the spiritual messages. Okay, so, and you might have seen this card already because it was the first card that landed and it was upright. And it was the card of the magician. The magician. And this is a very, very beautiful card. It's a major arcana. And it tells me that you have regained your power. All right? You have recognized who you really are. You've received a sudden insight. You've been liberated from previous habits, from previous situations that they're no longer serving you, from karmic people, from past trauma. You've been liberated. You're breaking patterns. You've got all the tools in your disposal. You've reclaimed your individuality, and you are right now in the process of, or there is an urgent call for you to reinvent yourself using your talent, using your gifts, using all the tools that you have at your disposal. It's like you're telling yourself, I can't live like that anymore. Something inside me wants to be liberated, wants freedom. I need to change directions. I am who I am, and everybody has to accept me the way I am. It's the magician. Once again, remember, you have all the tools at your disposal. Now, I know for some of you, maybe you've heard that the magician is the energy of Mercury, but Mercury is the lower octave of Uranus. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, and I feel you're carrying the energy of Uranus. Uranus right now is in Gemini, all right, just ingressed into Gemini, and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, where Pluto is sitting. So you're diving deep into yourself, and you are responding to the urgent call to reinvent yourself. What crossing you was the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles is, now this could be your energy, okay? You're the giver, and there are people who are dependent on you. It could be your children, family members, it could be your spouse, or it could be your business, and there are employees that they are working for you, depending on your business. They are dependent on you, all right? But this is the energy of reciprocation or reciprocity. This is the energy of give and take. There is balance here, okay? There is fairness, all right? So on the flip side, this could be you. You're the recipient. You're dependent upon somebody else. And the message for you here is it's okay to ask. You don't need to apologize. All right? You're not begging for anything. It's the energy of you are entitled to speak your needs without apology. You're not too much. All right? And the right people won't punish you for being honest about your requirements and your needs. This is also the energy of Pentacles. Obviously, it's a practical energy. So you could have applied for a job, for a promotion, for increase in income or whatever, and somebody is going to meet you halfway. Okay? They are going to have a consistent contact. If you, for example, applied or you've been interviewed or whatever, they are going to contact you. Their intentions are clear, okay? And you are going to receive the care that doesn't disappear when you are or when you have needs, okay? So this is once again a response from the universe. It's kind of assurance, confirmation that your needs going to be met. Now, if you are the recipient here, all right? So I don't want you to ignore your needs. Don't be ashamed of asking, all right? Don't be ashamed of asking of a promotion. Don't be ashamed of asking of, increase in your income. You're entitled to do so. And once again, you are going to receive the care, the attention that you deserve. Now, also, if you are a recipient of the one who applied for a position or a promotion or whatever, rest assured with the Six of Pentacles that support or payment or an employer, they are going to respond to you. Okay, I do feel that there's a raise or a gift. It's coming in the near future. All right, you don't need to over-explain yourself. See, this guy is giving you the pentacle, okay? And you don't need to beg for it. It tells me that the role that you applied for, it's coming, it's closer than what you think, all right? I feel that you are going to be given what you deserve. You don't need to, once again, to over-explain yourself. All you need to do is to, have a trust and have faith, because this full moon in Scorpio is all about destiny and fate. With the Six of Pentacles energy, that also, or the message I'm getting here is, even if you haven't heard back as of yet from, like, let's say you applied for a job, you haven't been working, because the Six of Pentacles comes after the Five of Pentacles. Right? The Five of Pentacles is lack of anything, lack of emotional support or lack of financial support. And then comes the Six of Pentacles. So you've been waiting, and all of a sudden the support is coming, the money is coming, the conversation, the responsibilities, the recognition, all right? Whatever it is, it's coming. It's very close. Now you gotta understand, the Pentacles energy is kind of slow, so be patient. All right, but I am confirming here, and your spirit guide are confirming that the whatever you've been waiting for, it's coming, and it's closer than what you think. All right. Now, on the other hand, with this Six of Pentacles that came crossing the Magician, all right, you could be the one who is supporting other people. As I mentioned, it could be your children, could be family members, could be your spouse, could be whatever. It could be, you could be the business owner and there are employees who are dependent on you, right? So this tells me that you need more because you're supporting other people, all right? And you're the Magician here. So there is a transformative energy, or as I mentioned the messages that I've channeled about the Magician, that you're reinventing yourself and you have all the tools. I feel that there is a calculated financial moves is happening right now, all right? And it's in your favor because you're the Magician, okay? You have all the tools to make the change, to reinvent yourself, to get a new project, to, sign new business deals. I feel also that there is unexpected income or projects or increase of, money or investment that's going to be rewarded for you. So it could be through connection, all right? So I want you to rest assured that there is empowered
financial gains, all right? It's coming your way. I feel there's a glow up, there's confidence that's going to lead to increased income. They're going to be better negotiation, all right? Because remember, with the Six of Pentacles energy, this is reciprocity, okay? Give and take. So you're giving service, and in return, you're going to be rewarded. And it could be a re-evaluation of your worth, all right? Or what you really deserve. Somebody is rewarding you for being sharp and smart and being the magician, all right? That's how I feel. Now, in the past, you are the Queen of Cups. Cancerian energy. You're loving, you're caring, you're giving without asking anything, with no expectation, technically. You're very nurturing, you know, and you're the queen. So this means that for some of you, you are a mother, all right? Or you are a person who has long-term experience. You're a grown-up person. You're a mature person because you're a queen. You're not a page. You're not a knight. You're a queen. All right. That's why for some of you, you are mothers. Okay. For others, you are of a high-frequency person. You're a person who has responsibility. You're supporting people around you. All right. And you're giving once again to get no expectations to get back. What's coming in the future? So this is in the recent past. Okay, what's coming in the near future? Wow, you're the Queen of Swords. What a transformation from the Queen of Cups, giving to a Queen of Swords. Now, for some of you, with the full moon in Scorpio energy, I see separation. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I do see divorce or separation because the Queen of Swords energy is the very independent person. All right. Queen of Cups usually is a person or is in a partnership. All right. But the Queen of Swords is more of an independent energy. So now you're transformed from being emotional to asking for something in return or demanding that you should be, rewarded for what you're given. All right. And I do see this coming your way. You're being sharp, intelligent. All right. This is an air energy, the energy of you're being detached from your emotions. All right. So it feels like now you're speaking up for what you're entitled to. All right. For others, this could be the energy coming your way in the near future. Okay. So you're going to be meeting with someone. This could be also the energy of a lawyer, the energy of the judge. So if there is, or you're dealing with a legal matter, I do feel with this energy, the magician, okay, and the balance card, which is the Six of Pentacles, reciprocation or reciprocity, the energy of, it feels like, quite frankly, magician, the Six of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords, it feels to me the justice energy. Even though I didn't see justice, I don't know what else in the cards, but it feels like the justice energy. You are going to be, rewarded based on what you've been, given in the past. Okay? It's like karmic reward coming your way. All right? So I do feel it's positive. It feels positive. It doesn't feel negative to me. All right. Now, if the Queen of Swords is your energy and you've transformed, you've changed, this tells me that you're right now have discovered who you truly are. All right. You've been always the giver. Now you've discovered who you truly are. You're cutting ties with the past.
all right? With the people who are always asking, who are always demanding from you, who drained you energetically, you're reclaiming your autonomy because you're the magician. Remember that. You've reinvented yourself. You've stopped betraying your instincts and you're moving towards what feels alive for you. You're reclaiming your power, all right? You're no longer this person anymore. You are the Queen of Swords right now. You know your self-worth, all right? What's grounding you is another major arcana. So your energy is the magician, and what's crowning you is the moon. This to me feels like literally the lunar version of Pluto energy. So the truth rises so the healing can begin. You've been crying. You've been connecting to your higher self. You've been listening to your inner voice, to your spirit guides. And you've been purging and letting go of what no longer serving you. Now you're letting the truth wash through you. With the Queen of Swords energy, I do feel that the truth is rising and you're letting go of what no longer serving you. You're cutting through the illusion. At this moment, with the full moon in Scorpio, it feels like the trauma bond breaks open. This is the moment where the old story cracks and the moment the truth becomes undeniable with this clarity, the moon clarity. It's very liberating. What's in the position of your concerns, your emotions and concerns regarding your situation? Oh my God, you got the Three of Swords. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. What's crowning you is the moon and your concerns and your fears position. You got the Three of Swords. Wow, exactly the full moon in Scorpio. Now remember, the swords represent truth, clarity, and mental understanding. And that's what you're becoming here, the Queen of Swords. Truth, clarity, intellectual properties, mental understanding. So what tells me here? You are in a healing process. This is not coming. This is the process you're going through. Exactly the spiritual metamorphosis. Finally, you see people and their true intentions. All right? You recognize the patterns that you've been stuck in and you've been through. You understand why you've been hurt so deeply. Now you're in a healing process. You stop blaming yourself because you stop also romanticizing about the past. You stop giving them your energy. You went through the aha moment. Yes, it's okay if you cry. It's okay to feel your pain. It's okay. And you should allow the tears to come and the numbness to break and the truth to hit. And it's okay if it hits really deep. It's all right. It's a process and you have to remember The full moon in Scorpio is the lunar version of Pluto energy. And this Three of Swords is literally the Pluto, the pure Pluto energy. The breakdown, the confrontation, the emotional truth, and the release of all pain. What's in your environment or around you, the atmosphere, you got, wow, the Hermit, another major arcana. So the Magician, the Moon, and the Hermit. And it's funny, this is your fear, your concern, your emotional feelings about your situation, the Three of Swords, and in your environment, in your atmosphere, you got the Hermit. So this tells me that you are being isolated. You probably chose to isolate yourself. Take a break, all right? Step out from the situation. Take your time to meditate, to pray, to connect with your higher self, just like the moon energy, all right? So pain, rest, and heal, all right? So it's like a recovery mode. It's like, for some of you, I feel like you're stepping out from the situation, you're taking a break. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm just getting so many messages. For some of you, you're sleeping too much. For others, it could be a recovery from illness. All right? Yeah, that's how I feel after for some of you, you literally had the surgery. All right? So now you're in the recovery phase. It's a healing phase. You're moving on. You're transitioning. All right? It's okay. You need to take rest. If you're very sleepy and tired, it's okay to sleep and rest. All right? You are going through the metamorphosis cycle. So that's fine. But I feel like for some of you, you're also doing lots of prayers and meditation around this time. In the position of your wishes, dreams, and the outcome, I got so many cards, guys. I am just going to take them all. Okay, so you got the Knight of Swords. Okay, so the Knight of Swords in your wishes and dreams, that's coming after the Hermit and the Three of Swords and the energy that's crowning you, which is the Moon. This exactly feels to me like the Tower. I'm surprised that I did not get the Tower, but let me see what's in the outcome. Oh my God, guys. Okay, so this is your wishes and your dreams, all right? The Knight of Swords. And you got in the outcome, you got the Two of Cups, the Two of Cups, you got the Five of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. And I hope you see these cards really clear. Wow, this is amazing. Air and fire energy with emotion, reciprocity, Two of Cups. So, oh my God, guys, I'm getting so many downloads. So once again, it really feels like a Tower moment for me with this Knight of Swords. You're being liberated. You survived a very difficult situation you've been through, all right? You've been through the pain, the isolation, now you're being liberated. So this is the version of yourself you became to survive, all right? So now you're being liberated. Liberated from the version of yourself you became to survive. The beliefs that kept you stuck. The emotional armor that became a cage. You've survived. You are being liberated from all of that. The patterns that you inherited. Once again, you're being liberated from this. All right? I do feel that you defeated the energy of pain. You've survived it all. You're free now. Your wounds became your conscious. And the structure that was built around the wound is collapsing now. You're healing. You've been waiting for news and it's coming fast. With the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Wands, the news are coming really fast towards you. Something that's going to be very fulfilling for you. It's like a dream coming through. A wish fulfillment. I don't see the Nine of Cups. I don't see the Star, but I see Ace of Wands, which is coming from the divine renewal. Something new is being planted. Something new is going to be, or is going to make you very happy, is something that's going to fulfill your passion. All right? And it's coming really fast. With the Five of Swords and the Knight of Swords, and prior to that you got the Queen of Swords, that tells me you are victorious. And with the Two of Cups here, I feel like there's a new foundation is being built, and on a very solid foundation. Let's put it this way. It's like a sacred space you're entering into. Something that's, once again, is built. For some of you, you're probably buying a new house, all right? Or it could be even, like, let's say if it was a surgery, you survived the surgery. You're recovering, okay? The surgery is successful, all right? I feel also that there is a safe emotional environment that you're entering. It could be even a relationship, a contract, a business partnership that's going to be, or it's opening a new life chapter that's built on solid, on stronger grounds. It feels like a very deep commitment. For some of you, it could be a reunion, a reconciliation, I don't know. But it does feel like a very deep commitment. For some, it's an engagement because you got the Two of Cups. For others, it's a business partnership. And the news are coming. It's something new, all right? Something new, something very beautiful. I do feel that there is fulfillment or a milestone that's reached, all right? You made it through. You're successful. Especially with the Five of Swords, this is success, this is victory. So to me here, it feels like the metamorphosis is complete. The new identity you formed is coming to fruition. Your heart is healing and your joy is returning naturally. This is a very beautiful outcome. I honestly, guys, I don't feel like I wanted to, clarify any further. Everything is clear to me, and I hope that you got the message. I wish you best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Hey guys, so after I ended the reading and I said I don't feel like I wanted to, clarify any further, I've decided to pull some oracle cards for you on the energy of the full moon. All right. So, wow, you got burden. This is literally aligns with the Three of Swords. Guys, this is very beautiful. And guys, if I didn't mention before, at the bottom of the deck, you got the Six of Wands. Six of Wands. All right? Which means success and victory. Okay, so burden. You've had a burden. Emotional or physical weight or load. A task or responsibility that can be overwhelming. This is technically, literally, aligned with the Six of Pentacles. Remember what was crossing you here? The Six of Pentacles, responsibility, heavy load. People dependent upon you or on you. Maybe your children, your family. Whatever it is, it was a burden. In action. You've been waiting. This is to me like the hangman mood. Not taking any steps or making any effort towards a situation or a problem. It could be, it's also the hermit mode and the Three of Swords, the healing process. All right? You're just healing right now. Healing your heart. You've been betrayed. And you're in the process of healing. Effort. The process of putting in effort to complete a task or reach a goal in order to achieve a desired outcome. This is, to me, like the magician energy. You're putting effort. Could be at your work as well. You've put too much effort, but you haven't been rewarded for the efforts that you put into the situation. All right? And that's why you decided to leave the situation. Could be even in your, in your relationship. You are the one who's been giving, but there's no reciprocity. So you decided to step out from the situation, heal yourself, because whatever the relationship or the situation or the business partnership, whatever it is, it wasn't reciprocated. Okay? It's one-sided. And that's not fair for you. Cold. Emotional detachment or lack of empathy, being unfeeling or not showing emotions. And this is exactly what you're becoming. The Queen of Swords. You're detaching yourself. Because you've been treated unfairly. You've been giving, and there wasn't any reciprocity. So you left the situation. You decided to close the chapter and move on. The full moon in Scorpio. All right? This is, to me, like Mars energy. You're cutting ties. You're severing ties with what no longer serving you. Choices. You made up your mind. All right? Before you were confused. What are you gonna do? You stay in a situation or you leave it? Or you're gonna leave it? Becoming aware of different options or making a choice between paths. So you've already made your mind now. You're cutting ties. You're severing ties. You're moving on. You don't want to stay in that stagnant mode anymore. You're moving on. Luck and wise. All right? The occurrence of events by chance in a happy or a beneficial way. This is like literally the Wheel of Fortune. Luck is to your favor. Luck is on your side. Something beautiful is coming your way. So this is confirmation of the Six of Wands, the confirmation of the Ace of Wands, the confirmation of the Eight of Wands. the news coming your way. You are going to be rewarded for your patience. And wise, you're wiser now. This is the magician energy. The revelation of the unknown, having knowledge and having the experience. You have all the tools at your disposal. You just need to use these tools. All right? And as I said, luck is coming your way. Wish fulfillment. You are going to be victorious and successful. All right? That's what I have for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.